Hey, welcome back to my channel, everybody. You're looking at some X-Men comics. These are my X-Men's from the 80s. I believe this is like 1984, right about that time. So that's when I was really a big X-Men collector. And the reason why I'm showing you my comics is because I know there's a lot of talk now about the 90s X-Men and people that grew up collecting X-Men in the 90s. But I'm an 80s person, right? So when I think of Storm, let's say, and I think you know where I'm headed, this is how I kind of remember Storm, right? Until, of course, she got the mohawk and became kind of like, you know, a real tough, you know. And then, but this was the outfit that I always remembered Storm was in, right? And she was one of, in my opinion, one of the best X-Men team members. I mean, she could control the weather. I thought that was awesome. And also around that time was Thunderbird, right? And so here we have Thunderbird leading up to his pinnacle episode here, where he ends up facing his ultimate demise. So anyways, I'm at Target. The 2-packs are out. And Storm and Thunderbird. Now, it took me a couple of days to be able to like locate this, and with the help of a Target employee who was able to, over the phone, agree to put it aside for me. I've had a lot of conversations with the guy about collecting, and he actually, I think, runs the department in the Target that I frequent, and I know on opening day he wouldn't have been able to do it, so I understand that. But I was actually out on Sunday looking for figures, and I was unable to find this 2-pack. But this is the one that I've been wanting ever since I saw the pictures of it. This is the Storm I remember, and basically it's the Storm that I was super excited for. It's the outfit that speaks to me from my era of the Uncanny X-Men. And as a bonus, you get Thunderbird in the package, John Proudstar, Apache superhero, and I think this is a fantastic pack. So let's take a closer look at it. Let's open it up and see what these figures have. I think this Marvel Legends box looks really good. It's got that big X-Men logo in the background. If you wanted to like maybe cut that or set this in the background as some sort of a background piece on your shelf, I think it looks really good. They do have the Thunderbird photo on this side and the Storm artwork on this side, which looks really nice. And here's the full-size artwork of the two, Storm and Thunderbird. Now, I think this is gonna be one of my favorite 2-pack sets that I've gotten. I'm gonna set that in the back. I do want to talk about these. I didn't take these out, but Storm comes with 2 extra sets of hands, and she also came with an extra head and an extra cape. So this would be the head and the cape if she's just in a normal pose, but I currently have her in her flying, you know, the wind flapping cape, and her hair kind of going wild hair, and her lightning coming out of her fingertips. And I got the Thunderbird here next to her, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about these. Of course, we know that Thunderbird was John Proudstar. He ended up dying in a mission. He was wounded, but he still went out to try to make the capture. Ended up dying. He was kind of a loner character, and he had to be recruited by Xavier. But anyways, this character looks really good. I really like the way they did the hair. I love the feathers in there. They look really good. And he looks really good. I'm surprised though that they didn't use the pinless technology here. And he doesn't have like that extra shoulder piece, so I feel like they did cut a little bit of corners on this figure when they were producing it. So I don't know if this was just an old mold, an old release of a figure. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. But I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't use the pinless technology. It's not like a new figure like you've seen coming out, and he doesn't have that extra little piece in the shoulders so that he can get the bigger range of motion. He's got about like that much, but he could have had much more for his physique if they would have just maybe used the upgraded body mold that they've been coming out with. So they did cut a few corners on him, but I think he looks really good. He's kind of your classic 80s character, and I do appreciate that because that's about when I was reading the comics. Now this cape and the other cape on Storm are fantastic. It's like a pliable plastic, so it's really nice. The hair looks really fantastic on it, like just floating, and it's got that nice pliable look. So she's got some little bit of motion, but this hair does get in the way a little bit. She can look down, so if she's flying up, she does look up a little bit, and she does have the good range of motion. And this is what I'm talking about. If you look at the joints, there's no pins in here. This is the hidden. They're hidden. So this is the pinless technology that I'm talking about. And with this figure, it looks really good. So I'm surprised that, like, you know, in a package where one of them has that pinless technology, which makes these figure look really good, the other one's kind of like an old body mold. So I don't know if that was like a cutting the corners type of thing, but regardless, this is really the reason to get this package right here. Is you got the classic Thunderbird in his outfit, and you got this classic Storm in her original look from the 80s, which I think looks fantastic. And there are just so many opportunities with these figures for display. So you got, not only do you have this head and this cape, but you just pop that off, pull off that cape, throw on the new cape, and you can get this new head seated in there really well. And then you'll have Storm all ready to go in her regular look. Of course, this is until about the time in the 80s when she goes with the mohawk. So that will be the next. So there you go. So that will be the next figure that I get. So there you have it. There's Storm. She's got her other look on. I put the other cape. I didn't change the hands yet, but I think you got an idea of how that figure looks. So you can have her sitting on the shelf in normal, but I think I'm probably going to have her posed out full on controlling of the weather. So I think this is a great 2-pack. I hope you liked the review. Don't forget to subscribe, and always remember, come back for more. Thanks a lot, everybody.